Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. Guys, I'm continuing my first 2014 NFL mock draft. This video is for picks 21 through 32. I already have two other videos up for picks 1 through 10 and 11 through 20. So be sure to check those out as well. But let's get right into it. Pick number 21 belongs to the Green Bay Packers. I don't see a corner or safety, most notably safety, for the Packers here worth taking at pick number 21. That's why I have them taking who I think they will feel is the replacement for Jermichael Finley, and that's Jace Amaro, the tight end from Texas Tech. Amaro's performance and overall talent on the field can't be ignored. We'll see how teams weed through his off-the-field situations. He had a credit card fraud incident that he was not ended up the charges ended up being dropped, but he was implicated in a credit card fraud scheme, and also he did get into a fight with a Minnesota player during a game as well. So there's some clouds surrounding Jace Amaro, but his play on the field can't be ignored. Can they bring him into a culture like the Packers, and can he produce? I think he can. That's why I have him going at pick number 21 to the Packers. Pick 22 belongs to the Eagles. I think it's pretty clear the Eagles on the offensive side of the ball are pretty good. Defensively, I think they could stand to add some depth at the cornerback spot at the very least, and I think they'll get that in Justin Gilbert. Not many guys on the Eagles can play aggressive, in-your-face, effective man-to-man coverage. I think Gilbert has the possibility to be able to do that. Justin Gilbert as my second cornerback off the board here from Oklahoma State to the Eagles. Pick 23, that belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, the Chiefs, I look at their needs as safety and wide receiver. The safety position, I don't think there's a guy really to take at this point. I would rather see them take Allen Robinson, the wide receiver from Penn State. Robinson's a guy who is probably not a number one at the NFL level, but when you have Dwayne Bowe signed for all that money, I don't think he needs to be. And I think he'd be a nice compliment to Dwayne Bowe and Donnie Avery, sort of a guy in like a Keenan Allen type mode, a consistent guy who runs good routes and who's a savvy receiver. I think that's what you'll get in Allen Robinson. Pick number 23 to the Chiefs. Pick 24 belongs to the Bengals. Again, I have them adding some depth at the cornerback spot with Jason Verrett from TCU. Verrett's a guy who's only 5'10", but to me, a guy that's tough enough to fit in their scheme and a guy that's adept enough and that could step in and play from day one on, look, a team that's going to be competing for a playoff spot next year. And I think he could add some much-needed depth in that secondary. Verrett, the cornerback from TCU. Pick number 25, the Chargers. Look, the Chargers had a very good year this year. I still think they can stand to get a lot better at the offensive guard positions. And I have them taking Cyril, Richardson, the first guard off the board here from Baylor. All right, Richardson's strong suit is pass blocking. Obviously, being from Baylor, a very important part of their offense. I like that aspect of his game, and I think he's an underrated run blocker. So I think you get the physical game of Ryan Matthews, obviously Phillip Rivers, the focal point of that offense from a pass perspective. That's why I like Richardson, my first guard off the board, from Baylor to the Chargers. Pick number 26 belongs to the Browns, and earlier I had the Browns taking Manziel, and I think it's important with Manziel, okay, to surround him with guys and receivers that are consistent and that run good routes and that get open. And you already have that in Josh Gordon. I'm not a believer in Greg Little. You just saw Devon Best get arrested today, actually, in Fort Lauderdale. So I think Best will be gone or not play a lot. Greg Little, I think the front office may have lost a lot of faith in him. So I have them taking Jordan Matthews, the wide receiver from Vanderbilt. Matthews is a guy that's a very disciplined route runner, a very experienced receiver, and a guy I think could really be valuable to a young quarterback like a Johnny Manziel. You give Manziel Gordon and Jordan Cameron, who are already there, and a guy like Jordan Matthews, and I think you have a heck of a trio there in Cleveland. Pick number 27 belongs to the Saints. I have them taking Scott Crichton from Oregon State. Crichton's a guy I think will fit in good and be a nice complement, all right, opposite Cam Jordan on that defensive line and really be able to get after the quarterback from that spot. Very rare. To me, you can't have enough depth on that defensive line when you run the kind of scheme Rob Ryan runs. To me, cornerback and, of course, defensive line. And Crichton's a player, make no mistake about it. This is a guy who has a rare skill set to be able to rush the passer from that down position. And a guy I think is a little under the radar that I don't see many people have in their first round that I think is a natural fit here for the Saints at 27. Pick 28 belongs to the Panthers. The Panthers, look, Brandin LaFell and Ted Ginn are both free agents. They have a developing quarterback in Cam Newton. Replenish the cupboard, and I think they should take Brandin Cooks, the wide receiver from Oregon State. Look, well documented. Cooks had over 120 catches, over 1,700 yards. This is a guy who, maybe the physical traits aren't exactly what you're looking for, but the guy played in a major conference, had over 120 catches, and over 1,700 yards. To me, that matters a ton. If you listen to this channel, I'm more side on the guy who's produced at the college level than a combine superstar or a guy we're waiting to quote-unquote erupt. I'll go for the guy who's done it before, especially when I have a good team who needs a guy at this position to come in and play right away, as the Panthers will at wide receiver. I'll take Brandin Cooks, a guy who's drawn comparisons to Victor Cruz and Steve Smith. Sign me up. I'll take him. All right, Brandin Cooks, pick number 28 to the Panthers. Pick 29 belongs to the Patriots. Pretty clear the Patriots need depth on that defensive line. I think Belichick will see a guy in Louis Nix that he can certainly use on that defensive line. Nix is an absolute load. I know he had some injury problems in 2013. I also think those injury problems are the only reason he even lasts to this pick. And if not to step in and play right away, to certainly be there as Vince Wilfork exits and to maybe be definitely a part of a rotation. Louis Nix at the end of towards the end of the first round here to the New England Patriots. Pick 30 belongs to the 49ers. I have them taking fellow Notre Dame offensive lineman Stephon Tuitt. Tuitt is a guy that I think can fit in very well culturally with the 49ers. Look, I know we say every year Justin Smith can't play forever. It seems like he can play forever, but they're a little long in the tooth along that defensive line, and I think they need guys there just in case injury should happen, and to be a part of a rotation, guys who can eventually grow into starters. And that's the fortunate place the 49ers are in. They have a lot of talent across the board. To them, a large part of the draft is about building depth and getting contributors. I think they get a contributor here in Tuitt, the 3-4 defensive end from Notre Dame. Pick 31 belongs to the Broncos. And look, at the cornerback position now, you have Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie as a free agent. You have Chris Harris, obviously, who unfortunately is hurt, tore his ACL, and who knows how long he'll be out for to start the season. And if he is back, how healthy is he? So I think corner's a big need for them. Bradley Roby, the cornerback from Ohio State, I think is a guy the Broncos should take a long look at here. He's a guy who was projected much higher earlier in the season. Didn't have a great last year at Ohio State, but nonetheless, I think he's well worth the risk at pick number 31 here for the Broncos. And lastly, pick number 32 for the Seahawks. I think wide receiver is a big need for them here. I think the wide receiver class is a very deep class. They don't have to take one here. But if I'm them, I jump on who I think is definitively the third best tight end in this class, in Austin Seferian-Jenkins from Washington. This is a more conventional tight end, a huge guy, 6'6", who can block and catch passes. More of a safety valve type as compared to a mismatch, Jimmy Graham type. All right, a conventional tight end, I think, could be a good safety valve for Russell Wilson and also do a good job in the blocking, in the run blocking game, spurring Marshawn Lynch. Guys, that's picks 21 through 32. Be sure to check out picks 1 through 10 and 11 through 20 in 2 separate videos there. Let me know what you think of my first 2014 mock draft. Be sure to leave comments below. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Guys, be sure to subscribe to my channel. This isn't the only mock draft I'm going to do or NFL draft coverage. I'm going to cover the draft wall-to-wall, the NFL offseason wall-to-wall, and, of course, the Super Bowl as well. So be sure to subscribe. It's absolutely free. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.